AC Weatherland. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back and welcome to the weekend. Unfortunately, we're not going to have the weather we had Wednesday, Thursday for the weekend. It's going to be vastly different. Back into the humidity, back into a pretty good chance of scattered afternoon showers or thunderstorms. But the weekend won't be a washout, just that inconvenience once again. And unfortunately, the air conditioners, after getting a little bit of a break, they're going to start working again in the days ahead. And eventually, those higher than normal rain chances diminish, but that just means it's going to get hotter. Here we are, late July, heading into August. So let's take a look at the big picture across the Gulf of Mexico, and not a whole lot going on. We've seen persistent storms out in the Gulf, but they have been rather disorganized. Deepest tropical moisture is out here in the central eastern Gulf. Some of that's going to move off to the east. Some of it's actually going to get pushed back to the west, and some of it is actually already starting to drift more northward. And we did see a couple of thunderstorms flare up across St. Mary Parish and Vermilion Parish. And interesting pattern going on here. Notice the storms kick up. Upper level winds are out of the north, so the low level motion gets the storms going to the east, and then the upper level winds kind of blow them back to the south, at least the top parts of the thunderstorms. And this is what we saw. This is a 12-hour loop, a good scattering of storms across lower St. Martin and St. Mary Parish, but most of the action stayed in the coastal parishes. Did see a few sprinkles as far north as Lafayette, but not a whole lot of activity with this today. But tomorrow we're going to see further inland penetration of the showers and storms, and everybody has a good chance of getting at least some thunderstorm activity. In fact, here's the latest high-resolution rapid refresh model indicating it will be stormy first along the coastal parishes as early as tomorrow morning, but it looks like things try to get to their act together and then build northward as we head into the afternoon. Then we'll see a good scattering of showers and thunderstorms across the area. 2, 3, here's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then things slow to diminish. There'll be still a few renegade storms even at this time tomorrow night. It quiets down, it reloads offshore, and then does it again on Sunday, and we see that on the RPM Futurecast model. Pretty much the same story. Scattered storms in the afternoon into the early evening, then they diminish. Then we get into Sunday and another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms moving through the area. So we'll go about 50% tomorrow, 40% for Sunday, and rain chances staying above normal for a few more days after that. In fact, as we look at the European model here, again, not showing a whole lot of moisture, and then an upper level disturbance comes in Tuesday. So I think that's the day we're going to see a 60-70% chance of storms, maybe some locally heavy downpours. Then that fades away. Meanwhile, in the rest of the tropical Atlantic, you can see a little bit of a tropical wave here, see a little bit of a tropical wave here, another one coming off the African coast. And in fact, it looks like things might be getting a little bit more conducive for tropical systems in the Atlantic basin. This one tropical wave does make it to the eastern Caribbean, so that's a sign that these waves that are coming off the African coast are showing a little bit more robustness. Now, we still have that dust, but in between the dust, you're going to have those tropical waves, one here, and then another one here. Watch how this one kind of seals itself off from the dust. So certainly in the next, say, 8 to 16 days, in around there, 1 to 2 week time frame, we think it's going to get a little bit busier with time. Not a whole lot going on across the Caribbean. Here's a tropical wave that's approaching the eastern Caribbean, but at a low latitude. Good looking tropical wave here, and another one coming off the African coast. So that's why we might see a little bit of an uptick in Atlantic tropical basin activity, not in the Gulf necessarily, but out in the Atlantic basin in the next week or two. Don't get too worried, but it is that time of year. You get into mid-August, that gets us to mid-August. We should start seeing waves coming off the African coastline that look a little bit more robust. In the near term tonight, it's going to be warmer, more humid. Temperatures low to mid-70s tonight. Tomorrow, we'll limit our highs to the upper 80s thanks to the clouds, showers, and storms. But away from the storms, if the sun comes out, it's going to be awfully uncomfortable. Again, low to mid-70s tomorrow night, so the 60s are done for a while, and back into the mid to upper 80s again for your Sunday. So a quiet night ahead, warmer and more humid overall. 73 if we're lucky. We have a dew point at 75 at the top of the hour in Lafayette, so that's looking dubious. 88 the high tomorrow, partly sunny early in the day with scattered afternoon, early evening showers and storms. Chance of getting wet at about 50%. 40% Sunday, Monday. There's that increase for Tuesday we talked about. But by the end of next week and going into the following weekend, it looks like a subtropical ridge of high pressure will develop across the area. That's going to allow for fewer storms and hotter temperatures overall, though. The 10-day forecast back into typical summer-like pattern, at least over the next 10 days, but we could probably say over the next 60 to 90 days.
Probably so, yeah.
More than likely.
And July wasn't so bad. I mean, without Barry, but temperature-wise,
yeah, not too bad. Overall, our overnight lows may be right near normal, but our daytime highs may be a little bit below normal. We'll see how it finishes out for the month.
All right. I bet we'll pay for it, though,
Yeah,
for sure.
We always do.
Thanks, Rob.